I really was trying to stay away from this topic from last week because I was heads down on a bunch of different goals and feeling pretty motivated and pretty productive last week. And then I started to see the tickers about the shootings that took place in Florida. And ultimately, over the weekend, I started to get served different pieces of the story in my social media profiles, and I started to dig into it a little bit. And as a guy who is former military, pro Second Amendment, and pro rights, having the right to do things, as a parent, I can't even imagine what it must have been like for any of these parents to go through this week. And you immediately see all these reactionary solutions, everything from taking the guns away to Kevlar backpacks to metal detectors in the schools. And ultimately, all of those are just quick, crazy solutions or countermeasures to a deep-rooted problem that I think that exists in our culture today. And as a father of daughters, I think the thing that I look at is there's so much emphasis on making sure that women and daughters are empowered and are strong and raised strong. And I think it's fantastic, right? I think we live in an age when that should be like that, and I wish it would have been like that earlier in our history. But ultimately, what I start to listen to some of the stories and start to look at the reasons or the points that people go through to get to the point where they just start grabbing AR-15s and taking it out on people they don't even know that well. I have to think it all comes down to purpose. And I think we need to do a better job as a society of explaining to children what our purpose is, what our individual purpose is. And if we can explain to our children what our purpose is, and if we can help them define their purpose earlier on in the conversation of life, I think they'll have more respect for those around us. I mean, there's different organizations, there's different countries. There's countries where it's a requirement to serve in the military. There's countries where they get access to guns earlier in life than here. But they all have a well-defined purpose. And I think it starts like this. I think we need to be sincere in teaching these young gentlemen, because they are all gentlemen for the most part, these people who become shooters, to be the man that you're supposed to be strong, to be resilient, to have some core values. I think we need to teach them how to press forward through challenging times and to have a positive influence in others. And I think we need to enforce to them that they will get better and better as long as they want to. I think they should also learn earlier to talk it out, to talk about the problems, to talk about their frustrations in life. The other piece of it is I think they need to plan and have a strategy, but be prepared for change, because we live in a world where many changes happen, and what is here today may be completely different in a few weeks or next year or next month, whatever the time frame is. And with all the bells, whistles, gadgets of Kevlar backpacks and metal detectors and putting veterans outside schools to protect the schools, the solution starts here with having a conversation. And the solution starts with everybody having that conversation and agreeing that as long as we all share a purpose, and the purpose doesn't need even to be the same, but as long as we have a purpose and we can share a purpose with our children, and the children can understand what the true meaning of having a purpose is, I would have to think the number of shootings would be reduced. The number of children that were affected by this in the long term be reduced. And a number of parents that will go to bed tonight and not have their children wake up next to them or in their houses would be reduced. And I think we all need to be in this together.